Now, if you've ever dreamed of traveling across Africa from the bustling markets of Accra to the dunes of the Namibia desert, our next guest has probably done most of that and captured every unforgettable moment along the way. I'm talking about Nigerian photographer and author Ernest Enebi, who's just released his debut photo book titled Waka Waka. It's a stunning 400-page visual odyssey tracing his travels through 15 African countries, blending wanderlust, street style, and cultural storytelling into one breathtaking collection. Shot over several years, Waka Waka celebrates the people, textures, and colors of Africa, reminding the world that our continent is not just a destination, but a state of mind. And the best part, it's all launched recently in New York City, putting African creativity at the center of the global art scene. Joining us now to talk about his journey behind the lens and what Waka Waka truly means to him is the man himself, Ernest Enebi. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Ajala travels.
Come on.
Waka Waka.
Ajala has come back home. Ajala has come back home.
First off, congratulations on the success of the book. I was when I was preparing for this segment, I was reading the article on Forbes. So congratulations on that. Traveling across 15 countries is no small feat. What inspired this journey, and what story were you hoping to tell through your camera?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a big pleasure to be here on Arise. So for me, the journey happened before, I decided to put it together in a photo book. I'd been traveling over 15 years, so the photos in here and the stories in here, which are just as important as the photos for me, have unfolded over 15, 20 years of just my travels and my observations of African life across countries. So it's been work, it's been weddings, it's been, sports events and all kinds of different things, vacation, all kinds of things. And, I decided at this point, that our lives were worth preserving
100%.
And kind of telling that story of what contemporary Africa actually looks like, as opposed to kind of this, hodgepodge of African stories that we're always seeing all over the place. And so that's kind of what inspired
All
me.
right, let's talk about the title of the book. I mean, we all know Waka Waka. I use it to greet you sometimes, just because we never know which country you are in at any point in time. But it literally means to move, to wander. Right. What does the idea of movement mean to you personally and artistically?
Correct. So again, as you said, Waka Waka is has been used in this derogatory manner. That's what they used to call me, growing up in Kaduna. But I think for me, why I actually chose the title of the book was almost to recapture this idea of movement and the idea that as you move, there's always stories unfolding. And it's less kind of the idea that, you're just going places without, aimlessly, as, we normally describe people who are waka wakaing, I guess, and more about the idea that wherever you find yourself, there's a story there. And if you have a camera, as most of us do, all the photos in here are shot on cell phone, on iPhone photography over the last 15 years. And so we all have the power to actually tell these stories as we move. And so for me, that's what movement is really about, stories.
Yeah, 100%. So when people flip through these pages, they're seeing Africa through your eyes, raw, stylish, full of soul. How did you approach capturing the diversity of cultures, of fashion and emotion across so many different regions?
Ooh.
If you don't mind, I would like to let me get a feel of the book as well. It looks really, really good. It looks really fantastic.
I guess for me, I've always been committed to excellence.
Yeah.
And for me in this book, actually, the photos are beautiful. I'll put them up against photos from anywhere else, but it really is about the stories. And I wanted to highlight the idea that it doesn't have to be this. I've always had this idea that we've moved from, the images of Africa and this decrepit nature to much more beautiful photos of still poverty. And so for me, I was like, if you put a filter on it, it doesn't actually change, what you're dealing with. And so for me, it really is about the stories. Like, what are we telling different stories? Are we creating a more complex, vision of what Africa looks like? And so for me, the photos are beautiful, but it's the subjects that really make the book, not so much me.
I like that. I like that a lot. Waka Waka, Observations on Contemporary African Life, Culture and Landscapes. And I know that, of course, you had a bit of an intimate event yesterday, but you are doing another event tomorrow. Talk to me about that.
Correct. So what's happened with the book in true Waka Waka fashion is we're having almost a world tour of book launches around the world. We started in New York, as you mentioned at the top of the segment. We've gone to London, Paris. Nigeria is our first stop in Africa. And there's a launch event and a photo exhibition at Relay Gallery rather, in Ikoyi here. It's going to be beautiful. Some of the photos here are going to be exhibited there. The book is here for sale. I'm going to be signing some books. You know how we do. And then, we're going to take it on tour around the continent to the people. I want the book in everybody's homes, and so if I have to physically bring the books over there, and that's what I got to do.
All right then, and I was at that event yesterday, and I found a picture of that is what is so great about this book, because I feel like this was actually when we met.
Correct.
And it was just like a random photo that you took at a family friend's wedding, and I actually have now made it into the book right here. I don't know if they can actually grab it on there on the screen. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, and it's just showcasing, like African culture and Nigerian culture, from a wedding. This is really great work. When I look at this, I'm really, really proud of this. But before you go, finally, Ernest, what's next? Are there more journeys, more exhibitions, collaborations in the work? What can your fans, we your fans and lovers of African art, as it were, look forward to get from you next? I know you just finished this, but
exactly. So I'm gonna take this on the road. My job is to get this book in the hands of people across both the continent and the diaspora. Because for me, it's more important that we as Africans start to see ourselves as this, in the ways that I've tried to capture, us here. I think that's my main focus now. There'll be a different version of this. Maybe there'll be a show. Maybe there'll be, products here and there. But I think essentially, I want this book to tell its story, and when I figure out the next step, I think I'll come back here.
All right, then. Thank you so much. This is really fantastic, and I really do wish you all the best. Definitely gonna be adding this to my coffee table book collection. That's Ernest Danjuma. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. Of course, we appreciate you.